Dumbest zoo visitor complaints that made keepers question reality. Strongest. A man demanded a refund because the lion was asleep, as if the king of the jungle had missed his customer service training. Welcome to the strange world of zoo complaints, where people pay to see animals, then get angry when animals act like animals. These are 48 zoo visitor complaints, so absurd, even the keepers probably needed a quiet room afterward. Number 1. Some visitors really do expect the animal kingdom to respect their schedule. One parent complained that the lion in the big cat enclosure spent the whole visit asleep in the shaded resting area. Apparently, paying admission meant the lion should wake up, roar, and provide premium jungle drama.
But lions sleep a lot. That was not bad service.
That was a 400-pound cat managing its calendar. Number 2. A tourist arrived at the tiger habitat with a camera ready and left personally offended because the tiger stayed behind plants. The enclosure had trees, shade, and hiding spaces because animal welfare is not built like a photo booth. The complaint was that the zoo failed to guarantee full tiger visibility. In reality, the tiger used privacy exactly as designed. They paid to see wildlife and got upset when it had boundaries. Number 3. The monkeys were apparently not funny enough, which is a brave complaint to make about animals with no contract, no script, and no audience warm-up. The family stood by the primate enclosure, waiting for slapstick, chasing, or something worthy of a sitcom. The monkeys climbed, rested, and existed normally. That was the entire show. Zoo admission does not include unpaid circus interns with tails. Number 4. A guest at the gorilla viewing glass complained that the gorilla was rude because it turned its back during a selfie attempt. The expectation was simple: face the camera, hold the pose, and help create a magical post. Unfortunately, the gorilla had not purchased the influencer package. It was not ignoring customer service standards. It was an ape choosing where to look. Somehow, poor hospitality was blamed on the one creature not using Instagram. Number 5. Someone in the reptile house complained the snakes looked fake because they barely moved. That is a strong accusation against an animal famous for conserving energy and making stillness look suspicious. The exhibit was temperature-controlled, calm, and exactly what reptiles often need. The customer expected constant wiggling, perhaps a small dance routine. But the snake was not defective. It was simply being a snake with excellent commitment. Number 6. A visitor walked into the nocturnal house at lunchtime, skipped the low-light signs, and got angry because the animals were sleeping. The word nocturnal was apparently treated as decorative vocabulary. The complaint was that night animals should be active during daytime admission hours. But biology did not agree to that policy change. The zoo explained it on the sign. The guest lost a fight with one word. Number 7. A child wanted the penguins to march, and the parent complained when the penguins failed to deliver the movie version of themselves. The habitat had water, nesting areas, and actual birds living actual bird lives. None of them had received choreography notes. Real penguins waddle when they feel like it, swim when they feel like it, and ignore cinematic expectations professionally. The parent wanted backup dancers in formal wear. Number 8. One visitor complained that the birds in the aviary were too quiet. They had apparently expected a full rainforest soundtrack with perfect timing and no awkward pauses. But the birds were resting, preening, and doing normal bird business, not running an atmosphere department. Animals are not Bluetooth speakers with feathers. The zoo provided an aviary. It did not promise surround sound. Number 9. A guest tried to feed chips to a giraffe and complained when staff stopped them. The zoo had feeding rules, a controlled diet, and signs explaining that random human snacks were not loved. Still, the visitor acted offended, as if animal welfare had personally rejected their generosity. A giraffe does not need salty chips from a stranger's bag. The keeper was not ruining fun. They were preventing a snack-based health experiment. Number 10. A parent complained because staff would not let their child pet a tiger cub in a restricted big cat area. The logic was that because the animal was a baby, it should be safe, cuddly, and available for a once-in-a-lifetime memory. Unfortunately, baby predators are still predators, just smaller and more photogenic. The rule was not mean. It was basic survival with signage. They wanted a nursery experience, but with clause and a liability waiver nobody should sign. Number 11. The petting area produced one of nature's oldest customer service incidents. A goat ate a visitor's paper map. The guest complained as if the goat should have recognized private property and respected printed navigation materials. But open-contact goat enclosures are not quiet libraries with hooves. Goats explore the world with their mouths, and terrible judgment. The map was not stolen. It was reviewed, processed, and rejected by livestock. Number 12. A visitor ignored the "Do Not Feed Animals" sign, threw food into an enclosure, and then complained when the animal rushed toward it. This is a beautiful example of creating the emergency and then asking where management is. The rule existed because animals learned from food rewards, especially when humans start launching snacks like tiny chaos grenades. The animal did not misbehave. It responded to the exact problem the visitor personally invented. Number 13. A parent complained after staff told their child to stop banging on the viewing glass. The enclosure had animals inside, not a free percussion workshop with reptiles as background dancers. The parent argued the child was just excited, which is sweet, until the animal is being stressed by someone treating the barrier like a drum kit. The staff did not ruin the moment. They prevented the moment from becoming everyone else's headache. Number 14. In the petting zone, one guest complained that staff asked them to wash their hands after touching animals. The hygiene station was right there, doing its quiet public health duty. But apparently soap interrupted the authentic farm experience. The problem is that germs do not care about vacation vibes. Hand washing was not an insult. It was the small, boring miracle standing between cute goats and a very educational stomach event. Number 15. A tourist wanted to lean over a camel barrier for a better selfie and complained when staff blocked it. The large animal safety barrier was treated like a decorative inconvenience, not the line between nice photo and bad afternoon. The guest believed a stronger camera angle should outrank basic safety. But barriers are not aesthetic suggestions. They exist because camels are not props, and your caption will survive without a medical subplot. Number 16. One visitor brought outside fruit to improve the animal's diet and became upset when staff refused it. The zoo had a controlled feeding program, species-specific portions, and people whose job involved actual animal nutrition. The guest had a backpack banana and unlimited confidence. Random fruit may feel generous, but animal diets are measured for health, behavior, and safety. They did not expose a lazy zoo. They tried to outsmart veterinary planning with lunch. Number 17. Rain moved many animals into sheltered areas, and one visitor demanded a refund because the outdoor habitats looked quieter than expected. The complaint was basically that the zoo should make animals stand in bad weather for better ticket value. But animals also prefer not being soaked, especially when they have shelter access for a reason. The staff did not hide the wildlife. Weather happened, and the animals made smarter choices than the customer. Number 18. A hot afternoon made the animals inactive, and someone described the zoo as lazy. That is a bold workplace review for creatures resting in shaded habitats during peak summer heat. The visitor expected leopards, bears, and everything else to remain energetic under conditions where most humans complain walking from the parking lot. Resting in heat is survival, not poor performance. They accused an animal of quiet quitting because it understood temperature. Number 19. A family arrived 5 minutes before closing and still expected the full zoo experience. Closing announcements were playing, gates were winding down, and animal night routines were already starting. But the complaint said the zoo should have let them see everything because they had paid admission. Unfortunately, tickets do not bend time. The zoo did not fail them. The clock did. They wanted wildlife, customer service, and a small amount of time travel. Number 20. A guest complained because one animal was temporarily off show for a veterinary check. The exhibit closure notice explained it, but disappointment quickly became a refund demand. The expectation was that the animal should skip medical care and remain visible, like a tired employee pretending everything is fine during rush hour. But health checks matter more than someone's photo plan. The zoo was not hiding the animal. It was taking care of it. Number 21. Someone complained that the baby animal from the seasonal birth announcement had grown by the time they visited. This was treated like a bait and switch, as if the zoo had failed to keep the animal tiny in storage until the customer arrived. But baby animals continue aging after marketing photos. That is not false advertising. That is time moving forward. They did not file a complaint against the zoo. They filed it against biology with a calendar attached. Number 22. At a drive-through safari park, one guest complained that the predators did not walk beside the vehicle. The habitat was large, open, and designed to give animals space, not force lions into curbside greeting shifts. The visitor expected every car to receive a dramatic wildlife escort. But distance is normal, and often much safer. They wanted a safari experience with the convenience of pickup service, preferably with predators trained in customer engagement. Number 23. A visitor complained that the zoo required too much walking. They had a map, outdoor paths, and a huge facility full of spaced-out habitats built for living animals, not compact shelving. The expectation was that every enclosure should be close together, while still giving animals plenty of room. Those two wishes fight each other immediately. The zoo was not badly designed. It was simply not a food court with zebras. Number 24. A guest demanded a discount because the crocodile in the pool exhibit did nothing. This is an amazing complaint because doing nothing is one of the crocodile's most committed professional skills. The visitor apparently expected danger to demonstrate itself on command, preferably safely, visibly, and between lunch and the gift shop. But stillness is how crocodiles work. The animal was not boring. It was being terrifying in a very energy-efficient way. Number 25. Someone complained that the zoo smelled like animals. This happened near a barn area where the main attraction was, in fact, animals. The visitor seemed to expect the habitat to smell like a hotel lobby with light citrus notes. But mammals, birds, hay, mud, and food produce smells because they are real and not decorative wallpaper. The zoo did not fail cleanliness. The guest went to a zoo and discovered bodies. Number 26. A visitor complained that birds in the tropical area were too loud. The aviary had birds calling, squawking, and communicating like birds do when they are not waiting for a customer satisfaction service. The expectation was quiet ambiance, as if nature came with a volume slider. But birds did not malfunction. They spoke bird at bird volume. The complaint was not against poor service. It was against feathers having opinions. Number 27. A family complained about insects at an outdoor zoo. Not inside a sealed laboratory. Not in a climate-controlled shopping mall. Outside, on paths surrounded by plants, water, habitats, and food sources. The expectation was that nature should provide animals, but somehow delete the smaller ones. Unfortunately, bugs also live outdoors and did not need admission bracelets. The zoo did not import inconvenience. The visitors stepped into outside and immediately complained about outside. Number 28. A visitor complained that the elephants were muddy and looked dirty in photos. The elephant area had a mud wallow, which is not a spa failure, but a useful animal behavior. Mud can help elephants cool down, protect skin, and stay comfortable. The guest wanted a photo-ready elephant in showroom condition, like it had just been polished before opening. But elephants are not luxury cars. They are enormous animals with excellent mud-based skincare. Number 29. A guest entered the bat house and complained that it was creepy and too dark. That is a strong review of a nocturnal bat exhibit, where darkness is not a design accident, but the entire habitat concept. The visitor wanted brighter, cheerful lighting so the bats would feel less unsettling to humans. Unfortunately, the exhibit was built around bat needs, not lobby aesthetics. They basically asked a bat house to stop being a bat house. Number 30. Someone complained that the flamingos smelled fishy, which was especially offensive because the birds look so pretty. The flamingo pond, feeding area, water, and wildlife smells apparently did not match the visitors' pastel expectation. They wanted pink animals to behave like decorative lawn ornaments with perfume sponsorships. But beautiful animals are still animals. The flamingos did not betray their color palette. The customer just confused Instagram beauty with fragrance control. Number 31. A parent complains because an animal pooped in front of their child during an open viewing enclosure visit. The complaint treated basic biology like an unscheduled adult scene that should have been hidden behind a curtain. But animals do not check audience ratings before handling business. The zoo did not fail family standards. Nature simply refused to wait for a more tasteful moment. They wanted wildlife edited for television, preferably with commercial breaks. Number 32. A photo-focused visitor complained that the glass at a primate exhibit had paw prints and smears. The same guest had also been excited that the animals came close enough to touch the viewing window. That is the tricky part. Active animals interact with their environment, and glass does not remain magically spotless through that process. They wanted lively animal behavior and museum-level display cases at the same time. The smears were not neglect. They were evidence. Number 33. Someone complained that the zoo signs had too much reading. Not broken signs. Not confusing directions. Just conservation panels with actual information near the exhibits. The visitor wanted education, but apparently only in a format that required no attention. Zoos explain species, habitats, diets, and threats because learning is part of the visit. This guest was not attacked by bad service. They were defeated by a paragraph near a meerkat. Number 34. A visitor complained that an endangered animal was too small to be impressive. The exhibit focused on a small mammal or amphibian with real conservation importance, but the guest treated size like the official ranking system for value. No giant teeth, no dramatic roar, no refund-worthy excitement. But tiny endangered species can matter enormously to ecosystems. Conservation is not a monster truck show. The animal was not underwhelming. The visitor brought the wrong scoreboard. Number 35. During a keeper talk, one parent complained that mentioning meat made the predator exhibit inappropriate. The talk explained what carnivores eat, because avoiding that detail would make the whole animal slightly difficult to describe. The expectation was a lion presentation with no carnivory, no hunting facts, and no uncomfortable nature. But predators eating meat is not zoo negativity. It is the job description. They wanted lions rebranded as salad influencers. Number 36. A checklist tourist complained that the zoo did not have every famous animal they expected. They wanted pandas, polar bears, elephants, dolphins, and whatever animal their child had seen in a movie, all inside one ticketed facility with convenient parking. But species collections depend on habitat needs, climate, space, permits, welfare standards, and actual care capacity. Animal management is not a global shopping cart. They were not visiting a zoo. They were demanding Noah's Ark with signage. Number 37. A guest complained that conservation messages at an endangered species exhibit were depressing. They wanted to see rare animals, take nice photos, and leave without hearing why the animals were rare in the first place. But conservation is one of the central reasons modern zoos exist. The signs were not trying to ruin the mood. They were explaining the point. The visitor wanted awareness, as long as it arrived with absolutely no awareness. Number 38. One visitor asked why they could not pet the animals if the animals were kept there anyway. That sentence belongs in a museum of dangerous confidence. The non-contact wildlife exhibit had barriers, signs, and staff, all communicating the same basic idea. Visibility is not permission. Observation is not ownership. A zebra standing where you can see it has not become a customer sample. The guest treated every enclosure like a supermarket tasting table, with hooves. Number 39. A guest complained that the zoo cafe food was too expensive and demanded compensation on their admission ticket. The cafe had concession pricing, menus, and the completely optional ability to not buy a sandwich. But the visitor acted as if lunch prices retroactively damaged the animal viewing experience. Buying food is separate from entering the zoo. The giraffe was still included. The sandwich just became a class action lawsuit in their imagination. Number 4. Someone complained there was no fast food stand inside the animal trail. The path passed habitats with food restrictions, cleanliness rules, and signs asking visitors not to feed or drop snacks near the animals. But the guest wanted fries within arm's reach of every enclosure, because apparently nature should come with combo meals. Food placement near animals can create mess, risk, and feeding problems. The zoo was not inconvenient. It was trying not to season the flamingos. Number 41. A gift shop parent complained because a plush toy did not match the real animal exactly. The souvenir shop had soft toys, not a genetic replication department. Their child wanted the same fur pattern, same face, and apparently the same personal backstory as the animal they had just seen. But gift shops sell souvenirs, not custom wildlife biographies. The plush was not inaccurate. It was just a toy refusing to become a documentary. Number 42. A family complained that stroller rental was not included with admission. The zoo had a rental desk, prices posted, and paths designed for a long outdoor visit, but they expected every possible convenience to arrive bundled with the ticket. Admission gets you through the gate. It does not automatically include wheels, storage, cup holders, and a mobile parenting headquarters. The zoo was not hiding benefits. They wanted a wildlife park to become a subscription box for logistics. Number 43. Someone complained that parking was too far from the entrance. This was at a large zoo with wide grounds, overflow parking, and enough space to house animals larger than furniture. The visitor had not even reached the walking-based attraction yet and had already objected to distance as a concept. A massive wildlife facility cannot also function like a tiny corner shop. They came to spend hours walking, then lost patience in the parking lot. Number 44. A visitor complained that vending machine snacks could not be fed to animals. Their logic was simple. If the zoo sold the food inside the gates, surely the animals should be allowed to eat it too. Unfortunately, visitor snacks are for visitors. The tiger does not need chips. The lemur does not need candy. And no feeding program is managed by a vending machine. They mistook a snack stop for animal nutrition policy. Number 45. A parent complained because animals were mating in an open habitat and called it inappropriate. The zoo had living animals, not actors waiting for a family-friendly script approval meeting. The expectation was that wildlife should follow human social etiquette, notice the crowd, and postpone biology until after visiting hours. But animals do not pause reproduction because someone brought children. The zoo did not stage anything scandalous. Nature simply happened without asking the front desk. Number 46. A birthday package parent complained because the meerkats did not gather near the glass for their child's special moment. The small mammal exhibit was close to the party area, but the meerkats had not been briefed on the booking notes. The expectation was VIP recognition from desert animals with no calendar access. They looked around, ignored the birthday, and continued being meerkats. The zoo provided a party. It did not hire tiny emotional support hosts. Number 47. A visitor asked staff to wake up a sleeping leopard on its resting platform because they wanted better photos. That request takes real confidence because even hotel guests usually hesitate before demanding someone poke a predator. The big cat was resting as part of normal animal care, not refusing customer engagement. Staff did not fail to activate the exhibit. They respected the animal's needs. The guest wanted a zookeeper to treat a leopard like a bellhop. Number 48. A parent complained that their child got scared after ignoring warning signs near a loud animal enclosure. The signs explained that the animal could make sudden noises, move quickly, and act wild, which is the kind of behavior often found in wild animals. The family skipped the warning, met the reason for the warning, and then blamed the zoo for being accurate. The animal did not create poor service. It delivered the sign's promise with excellent timing. And that is how a simple zoo visit turns into a formal complaint against sleep, mud, noise, weather, biology, and animals having personal boundaries. Which complaint was the most ridiculous to you? The sleeping lion, the offended snack feeder, or the birthday meerkats? Drop your pick in the comments. And if you enjoy watching common sense lose to customer confidence, like the video and subscribe for more.